I love weed. So delicious. Damn, that was tasty. That Max Stomper is delicious. I think I smoked the last episode too. So tasty. Welcome back to the wonderful world of X-Rated, folks. I'm in the mood to be chilling, leaning back today. Love that shit. That's a good one. Boom. Hello, folks. Welcome back. Or welcome if it's first time in. It's your boy X-Rated, just chilling. Smoking on this delicious Max Stomper. Oh my God, so good. So good. Perfect mix of like fruity and like funky, fuely. Not too overpowering either way. It's a perfect blend. It's like a Pope. It's like a potpourri of smelling flavors. Oh, yes. Flower. Good, clean flower. Shit. I think I grew this shit like 5 months ago. It's just now. You store it right. It's just now hitting its like peak ripeness. 3 to 6 months out. That's when this shit's working its magic. And talking about clean flower, that's what today's episode is about, is the big debacle that recently happened here in the state of Michigan with a $250 million recall worth of marijuana. If you're not familiar with the story, hold on, my chair thing. No, I don't like that thing. Where's the other guy? There you go. Perfect. Boom. All right. So if you're not familiar with the story, we're going to talk about a bunch of different things, but it's all over the news. The company here, Veridis Labs, which ironically is ran by 3 ex-Michigan State troopers. The state police, of course, right? Oh, here's our window. Let's go. But it's a different story all in itself. So that's the funny thing is one of it, right, is the police were the ones, ex-police, running this lab, and they got accused of trying to pull the okie doke on a bunch of people with pulling all kinds of gimmicks from testing to passing stuff that other people had failed for molds. So I guess originally what had started is, and shenanigans with testing labs is nothing new, folks, nothing new. What the legal industry needs more than anything is standardized testing across the board. Every state. Every state should work together to have the same platform. I know it's not federally legal, so it's not a federally mandated thing, but I'm talking about just actually each state working with each other to ensure that the marijuana is tested the same. When I say that, I'm talking about not just for the molds and all this stuff they test for, but the THCs, the percentages, Obviously the terpenes, yes, the heavy metals, all this stuff. They test for a plethora of things, molds, mildews, pathogens is what they're called, pesticides, and then not natural organic pesticides. There's a bunch of shit you can use that's technically labeled as a pesticide, but it's not. It's just an organic spray, but you can use it to kill bugs. But they test for all the bad shit. And obviously potency is the big one, that is the big X factor that everyone tries to chase, because you see all these crazy numbers coming out now, people claiming they have 38% pot, 40% THC, and that's bullshit. That's 100% bullshit. The test that they do for cannabis is a liquid gas chromatograph. That's the standard test that they do. And it's basically, it's like organic chemistry, right? What they're doing is they put the sample that they're going to use, they put it in the machine, and they introduce, and there's meters on there with all the levels of everything. And when they're testing, like for the potency, for example, and this is the big one that really drives everyone crazy, is by manipulating the amount of gas that goes through the machine, because that's what they use to read it. They have a gas that comes through one side, so it's, again, liquid gas chromatograph. They bring it through from one side, and then it sits with the sample for a second, and they pull it through the other side, and that's when the meters read it and stuff like that. And they get their readings and numbers. Well, by introducing the gas at different rates or by different amounts, and by leaving it in a little chamber at different times for different amounts of time, and then by the amount of time you pull it through the other thing, these are all different ways you can manipulate these numbers on the tests. And that's what labs do. And it was happening back when I was in California, starting back in 2009, 2010, when I'm taking stuff to places, because some stores back then, Harborside, the big one in Oakland, they required you to have a certain amount of potency on your bud, and they sent it away for testing to make sure there's nothing bad in it. But you could get calls from the labs, and those guys would be like, hey, man, for a couple $100 more, I can pump up your scores a little bit. In the beginning, no one knew what it was, and we're like, well, of course you'd pay a little bit extra. And then you do a little research yourself and find out that that's exactly what they were doing. Because it would give you legit paperwork, right? And like I said, it's legit. Because when the everything is rolling through and testing the sample, the meter's going up and down. So it's like whenever they take a snapshot of it, per se, is the number that they get, Like I said, by drying the sample out, hardcore is another one, which isn't standard. Which isn't normal. Like when you're going to smoke something, right? You don't want it all dried out like powder. But the more you dry it out and remove the water moisture, the higher they can manipulate the THC levels. It's crazy to think the shit that they can do. So, this is like the third or fourth, maybe fifth, but it's like the third or fourth that I know of that's been busted here in the state for pulling shenanigans. A couple people got fines. One group lost their license. And then now these guys, there was a big they did a big recall. Like I said, it was like $224 million, the recall here around the state. So they did that, but then they sued the state to release it, and a federal judge sided with them to put it back on the streets. And obviously, I don't know anything about the inner workings or proceedings, but kind of funny when they're ex-cops and obviously super interconnected here in the state, and the judge here just so happens to, let's release their marijuana back to them so they can go sell it and stuff. Well, it's not theirs per se, but it was through their hands, and they were ones entrusted with it. They'd have been on the hook for it if they were really pulling the shenanigans like they were saying. So that's what I mean. But they were accused of having stuff there that wasn't like in their books and labeled, stuff that wasn't accounted for. They were also accused of passing stuff, flower samples, and this is all related to flower. It wasn't concentrates, edibles, anything like that. This is purely bud. They were also accused of passing stuff that other facilities had failed. And on more than one occasion, because I guess that's how they ended up busting them. They had some people send over to do some undercover, ironically reverse undercover on the cops. That's funny. Hold on, see, she couldn't even be ready. The stingers got stung. But yeah, apparently what they were doing is passing shit that other people had failed for, molds. I think one was like powdery mildew, some aspergillus, some botrytis, things that in high enough levels, if someone smokes them, especially someone with like a compromised immune system, bad lungs, or whatever, even cancer, those things can mess with you for sure and mess you up big time. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the whole thing. But like I said, the whole thing is shenanigans with the testing from all the way around. I remember the beginning when we first opened the Morenci store, and it was December 2019, December 20th to be exact. We started getting concentrates in and stuff. And within the first few months, we were getting stuff that would have like terpene readings and amounts on it. But if you called any testing facility here in the state, none of them did terpene testing. So I'm like, well, what's going on here? Were these guys pulling fuckery? Did they have their own little terp testing thing that they did? I don't want to say like, I don't think so, but it was a small little concentrate company. It wasn't like some big ass group that had all kinds of money at their disposal and stuff, because those machines are expensive. I think the terp reader, man, and yeah, you can't just use that thing alone. It has to be a part of a bigger machine. I want to say that thing was like $100,000 alone, 150 grand alone, some shit like that. The actual terp profile reader that gives you the percentages, the breakdown of everything. So I don't know if these people didn't have that, but it was just kind of funny. So whether it's the packaging or testing, there always seems to be some funniness. They're cracking down here in the state big time with removing any imagery on the packaging. Like apparently it can't be like pieces of fruit. It can't be animals. I don't mean cartoon animals. Like there was a company here, MKX, and on their thing was a nice big like black horse. It was like a drawing of a stallion, but it wasn't a full on. It was like made with lines and stuff, so you really had to look at it. I mean, you knew what it was, but it wasn't a full on like drawing of like a cartoony horse or whatever. And they had to change their packaging because they don't want to be attractive to children. Which I totally understand, but there's certain ones that like had pieces of fruit on it or whatever. And they had to change that. And they already can't do like any type of funny shapes. They have to be round or square or little strips, They can't be gummy bears. They can't be little animal shapes or anything like that would appeal to a child. They already have that law in effect. Again, this is all stuff I agree with. So, yeah, it'll sort of be interesting. But don't believe anybody, man. I'm not trying to say like don't believe anybody. I guess I said that. Let me rephrase that. Well, I guess I should say don't believe anybody if they come to you telling you they've got 38%, 40% pot, 35%, THC. 35% total cannabinoids. Maybe. I've seen some pretty impressive stuff, and with a wide array, it was like 25%, 24, 25% THC. It was like 7% CBGA. It was like 3% CBA. It's like 2% CBD. It was just this crazy, crazy numbers all across the spectrum, I mean, again, something like that we talked about even earlier, right? Could that be manipulated? Yeah, I suppose so. But no one really has the benefit to do it, to have a spread like that. If they're going to manipulate it, they're going to be like, bro, look, 40% THC. So. Yep. So write your local Congress people and say, hey, we need better weed testing. No, I'm just kidding. Right? They don't do that shit. So again, interesting to see what happens. Kind of interesting that there was cops that got that shit back. So that's about it. Just a short, sweet, quick one today. Was just wanting to talk about that because it just happened over the last week or so, and I was waiting to see more happening because originally everything put on hold, and my buddy called me because his company was involved in the recall, and they freaked out. And it was funny because at our stores, excuse me, when the recall happened, like the email would ding and it would be like something from the MRA and be like, hey, pull this product. And then like 5-7 minutes, ding, pull this product. Wait, ding, pull this product. And I think that literally went on for, I want to say a couple of hours. Because we had all kinds of stuff that had been tested by these people. They're the biggest lab in the state. They had $250 million stuff tested. I mean, think about that. It's a lot of marijuana. 200, well, not quite a quarter, but 224 million. Shit. That's a lot, man. That I can tell you. So, once again, please don't forget to check out our super, super wonderful stores. Go to the website, www.pinnaclecanna.com. Stores are located in Morenci, all in Michigan. Most of them on the border except for two. But Morenci, Michigan, Camden, Michigan, Addison, Devils Lake area, Buchanan, and Edmore. Go online, check out the menus, all different menus for each store, different specials, all kinds of stuff. If you're here in Michigan, take advantage of the 12 days of Christmas. Different every time, different every single day, leading on up to the big day. People, holidays, please enjoy. Please keep being good people. Love your friends, love your family. Hide your kids, hide your wives. Your money coming through. Seriously, spread the love. It's the holidays. If you can afford it, donate a little money. Red Cross, Salvation Army, do that, adopt a family. Take some toys to the local police station or fire station. You know how they do it. They're always doing those toy drives. Any little bit you can do to help. Food to food kitchens, food pantries, whatever, right? Be the change you want to see in the world. At the same time, don't be afraid to bust your friends' balls. Have some fun. Laughter's the best medicine. I guess I say movement's medicine too. That's a good one I've been hearing lately. I like it. I like it. So until we meet again, my dear friends, love, peace, chicken grease. Live, laugh, love. Adios.